So my name is Marlene Carvalho, and I work with the Center for Prevention and Restorative Justice in the DA's office.
Perfect.
So I'm a volunteer facilitator, and the cases that come through diversion, there's an option for them to do restorative justice if they're case appropriate. And with restorative justice, it's all about harms and impacts. So you can't even do a restorative process if the responsible party is not taking accountability for their actions. So this program is all about relationships. So a case comes through diversion, and they're offered as a possibility, as part of their diversion, to do restorative justice. Okay, and it's a circle. So what I do is I co-facilitate with another person a circle, which starts with a pre-conferencing everyone in the circle. And who's in the circle are the responsible party, the victim if they want to, or the harmed party. We like to refer to them as the harmed party. If they would like to, sometimes they prefer to submit an impact statement instead, or sometimes we have a surrogate, somebody who was the victim of a crime like that. And then other stakeholders in the community. So there could be the support people for the responsible parties, often that's parents with the young people, support people for the harmed party, sometimes there's therapists, sometimes school principals, community members, and everyone has an equal voice. Some of the cases I've done, and many of the cases I've done, is that it's often the first time these young people really get that they're part of a community and what they do matters and has impacts. So they get to think really deeply. I think the first layer, for instance, if you break into someone's car or even just open an unlocked car and take something out, all you're thinking about is, oh, I just took this, it can be replaced, if you're thinking that far. But you're not thinking about the impacts that someone might feel targeted or might now feel unsafe in their neighborhood or may have trouble sleeping. So the reflection that the responsible party has to do is just so amazing. I think they really look at their lives differently after that. So in the restorative justice process, we're really looking at how relationships were impacted. Okay, relationship with the direct victim, and the responsible party is looking at the ripple effect out from there. Some years ago, one of my children had the opportunity to do a restorative justice process. And it was so impressive that I decided to volunteer. And I contacted the head of probation and started to volunteer with them. And after a while wanted to take a facilitator training and start facilitating. And so I did the training, and I was so impressed with their team. Kelly and Aaron Siffing and Elena Schiffley's there, and so I started to facilitate with them. And I was in their first wave of trainees, so that was 6 years ago. Yeah. So I was really slow to volunteer for cases that were being done virtually. I'm a real in-person person. A lot of how I perceive, I think this is true for a lot of people, to feel the humanness in the same space. And so it took me a while, and it was one of my co-facilitators, one of my teammates that said, hop on with me. I'll do most of it. Just see, give it a chance. Give it a chance. So I did, and then my challenge became how much of my heart, soul, and empathy can be felt in a virtual context. And it can be, much to my surprise. So what it actually made easier, I think, in terms of the program for people participating is they didn't have to worry about getting into their cars. There have been times where people show up and someone's running late. It's just made it easier for people to show up on time. Might have added to a feeling of safety for some of these young people to just be in their home space. And I think in a certain way it's actually shortened the length of the right? You get down to business. And so for me, that frontier, if you want to call it that, has been how to really communicate what the container is, and that people are in a held space where they can come forward. I think what the program does for the community is offers a different way of dealing with low-level defendants so that they are able to avoid being in the criminal justice system. And because of how the process is held, it empowers everybody, the responsible party and the harmed party and all the people that are there. And I think it just returns everybody to a feeling that the community has a beating heart and soul.